Ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich, and I'm coming to you with some more Company of Heroes 2 action. Today is a 1v1 between VonIvan and Theodosios. So, VonIvan, playing the Soviets, has already teched into his commander. He's going to be going for that Lend-Lease tactic tree. So expect to see perhaps some Dushkas coming on out. Theodosios himself, well, he is playing the Wehrmacht, and he's bringing on in Jaeger Armor Doctrine, Elite Troops Doctrine, and Lightning War Doctrine. Whoever wins this, them must be stopped, claims VonIvan. Opening up with some combat engineers immediately. His opponent going to go for a machine gun grenadier opening, so a standard Wehrmacht opening. A special rifle command coming on out for VonIvan, and using a very interesting bulletin here, infantry production 2. So he builds penals 10% faster, and the dispatch abilities for both shock troops and guards recharge 10% faster as well. So a little bit also of admin. Hey, VonIvan, how y'all doing? So a little bit of admin in the meantime as well. Later this week, I am going to be away, actually on vacation from pretty much everything. So I'm going to be doing my best to post videos up at the normal times while I'm on vacation, especially on my birthday, which is actually this coming Thursday? Thursday, I believe. No, Friday. Friday, there we go. So I'll do my best to post up videos and media for you guys to check on out. But please be patient if I have not put stuff up immediately. If it doesn't go up for a day or two, I'll make sure to get it up as soon as I get back, and I'll make up for lost time. Anyway, game is already in its infancy stages, but moving very quickly into its young child. Toddling on forward with this the grace and skill of that kind of child. 2 grenadiers coming on out for Theodosios, and VonIvan bringing on in some more penal troops. Rushing to the center part of the map. Is he going for that house? He just might be. Then again, he might not. Alright, so he's close enough. He's going to put some very discouraging fire down on these grenadiers. Well, all things considered, not that harsh. But alright, with that fallback, the Soviets have been able to take that house for a moment, have bashed out the windows, so the second they get in there, we'll be able to see some real action coming on out. And a TM-35 mine being placed just outside this expansion strategic point for the Germans. But the Germans don't seem too concerned about that. Indeed, we're going to see a 50-50 split, a very uncommon 50-50 split. Germans taking their own kind of very advanced strategic point from the Soviet army. 487 to 492, though, we are going to see Theodosios starting to lose some tickets here and there as a 4-5 squad opening now. Thank you, sir. Coming out from VonIvan, pushing back a more conservative German push. MG is not being utilized to push forward very much, and indeed, he's probably wasting some of the combat potential. Could even put it behind this area up here, but he's choosing not to do so, failing to see what his opponent has got in terms of a commander already. There we go, finally the MG-42 coming on in, and these combat engineers, of course, have him in the flank. The MG might be able to suppress a squad or two. Indeed, the mortar's getting some nice kills as well, but these grenadiers inside this house have to get forced on away, getting carved to pieces by all of that accurate rifle fire. The MG's doing some good work now, suppressing and pushing back a couple of squads. Still being taken on by these combat engineers, but Grenadiers moving on nice and close to them should be able to shove them away, and they do. This house still does belong, however, to the Soviets, but it might not be for too much longer. We're going to shift down here as well to see Pioneers coming in to drop their own mines, and we'll be able to do so super fast. A single S-mine coming in. Brilliant decision, actually. Wow. Was not expecting that. So getting a S minefield down super quick and taking out troops on retreat. That was a very well done tactic. I was not expecting that myself. You see VonIvan now, I think he's going to be forced to pick up medics. Yes, he does. There they are. Getting his troops slowly back into fighting trim. But this does give time for the Germans to take and hold, I think, the center part of the field. He teched up yet? No, he's teching up right now, but he does have medics on the field already. Both players laying into each other with the ferocity of jungle cats growling over hunting territory here. Excuse me, that was some great play to throw down that minefield on retreat. I thought he was just trying to decap, but no, Theodosios is just trying to cause casualties, and he is very, very good at that. By some miracle, however, he has not spotted out these TM-35 mines, so to keep an eye up here. If you don't see someone taking some real casualties quickly, you don't see someone on the map taking casualties really quickly, but you watch one of these shields drop to half, well, you know why, folks. And now there's a hazard removal kit, as well as a Rock-3 flamethrower. VonIvan going for the Soviet Army way, with a big infantry push over here to the eastern side. Going to be good for them, and lousy for these Grenadiers. Grenadiers might be brave, but they cannot stand up to firepower of that magnitude. But the mortar is in play for the Germans. The question is where he's going to get some good rounds down. Shockingly, 2 models quickly going down from that flamethrower squad. And will mean... It will mean that the Russian push has been aborted. At least moderately.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Now, luckily enough for VonIvan, this minefield has been completely exploded or removed. And this Grenadiers were not able to take out the flamethrower on retreat. Lifetime Mechanized Company coming on out, and a half-track is the first decision being built there. I'm wondering if that means we're going to be seeing some flamethrowers. A nice little Flamm half-track might be a decent decision. And here we go. So this mine has been detected, so no more big explosion there. Grenadiers, in the meantime, going to match off pretty well against these penal troops, especially since they don't yet have that Vet 1. And as long as he doesn't, things will be continue to go well for him. And there go the penals. They're not able to face all that kind of action either. Tanky Battalion Command coming on up, which is good because VonIvan doesn't really have a lot on the map. He just has those 5 squads he started with in the first place. That half-track as well, yep, he's going for the flamethrower upgrades as a Dushka 38 comes on for VonIvan. So expect to see the 38 get hurled into one of these houses. Maybe not this one. We expect to come into this house right here to try to retake the center part of the field. These Pioneers now are getting carved to pieces even as they're up close and personal with the combat engineers. You would think that the MP40s would be enough to chase them on back, but no, having the hazard removal kits out will mean they'll take some really, really devastating hits before he's able to do so. Penal troops, though, are falling back in the face of this charging half-track. 3 kills already on that thing. He's going to do incredible amounts of damage as well, I would say, to this combat engineer squad. 4 kills now, almost taking out that entire squad. And where's that Dushka? Coming down to the south. He is going to be able to shred this Grenadier squad. But I'm not sure you can see him at the moment. Shockingly enough, I don't think you can see him. And he's taking some really, really big losses as these Grenadiers over here just to the south of them take out 2 models without any sort of counterplay. Now, I'm wondering, VonIvan, will he go and use a satchel charge? That might be a good idea as well. No, instead he's just going to use rifle fire to try to discourage any over-engagement, I would say, by the penals here. This thing always seems so awkward, but it's such a beautiful vehicle anyway. Oddly graceful in its angularity. The 251 was the kind of taxi of choice for the Germans whenever they could afford it, giving a level of protection that was probably not really rivaled until the Allies brought in something like maybe the Kangaroo carrier or the later Bradley. The M3, that is. I'm sure people are going to disagree with me about that one as well. Williams, you're up here. Combat engineers shifting on forwards. A reinforced squad is trying to push against these LMG Grants, and we'll be able to do so pretty effectively as long as these guys are in green cover. You know, down to the south, we can seem to see a lot of firepower being levied here between the Dushka and these penal troops. Some good action being taken. Meantime, though, VonIvan is just going to go and throw down fuel, giving free nonsense over here. And maybe, just maybe, encouraging more T-70s. The Germans have themselves a Pack 40. Where's that bad boy coming on up? Okay, he's over here to the right flank. Normally see an AT gun being posted up here towards the center, kind of locking down this field of fire in that area here, but you can kind of understand the decision at the time. Just get this incredible amount of damage to light vehicles. See it there, especially with the AP rounds. LMG Gruns trying to cover the retreating comrades, taking out one or two of the attacking penal troops. But now the T-70 coming on in as well, doing some great damage. Pushing against his MG42. And where's that Pack 40? Well, he's just reset to the wrong side there, folks. And now just out of the arc of fire as well. Now, one thing I'm not entirely sure about, if anybody out there can answer, I'm not sure if mortar can do damage to friendly held buildings. My guess is probably yes. Pack 40 apparently doesn't want to fight today. He's forming the wrong direction. But that's some actual damage being done there. But no, Theodosios is not able to do so. But the distraction does allow the Soviets to pick up the northern fuel, as well as the German expansion. Which I'm looking for here. Expansion VP. That's what I'm looking for.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Pack throws down a round and completely kills that wood pile. Not sure why Theodosios is having such an issue here against VonIvan, but he is. He's actually getting slaughtered now.
The machine and gewehr team is awaiting orders.
A second MG42 coming on out, but I don't think that's going to be enough to bring this back into an even footing here. And as we enter the 12th minute mark, it's 431 to 449, and the Soviets, shockingly enough, just don't hold the center VP, holding both the extreme points on either side, but not being able to push against this penal and now T-70 play. A little bit of a surprise down here for one of our attacking German squads. The question is whether or not we'll see the Soviets get a chance to use it. T-70 to the north. Well, he's going to keep his pioneers entertained. MG42 is not going to be able to stand up against that. And while Theodosios does have the munitions to throw down a fair bit of Fausts, one Faust does not a tank kill make. So we're stuck watching this Pack 40 kind of lumber around the field, blowing up very, very innocent tractors and lumber. As these light tanks just kind of gleefully race around the field, harassing and just doing incredible amounts of damage. MG42 to the eastern side of the map. Indeed, look how brave he is. He's coming in backwards on this. Now he's got himself. He also has that whole combat mode and recon mode. Not dropping it off just yet. Kind of wondering why he's not. Okay, I think he's just trying to find out where that Pack 40 is. Maybe as well for that Flamm half track as well. Let's see. Germans are able to recapture their expansion VP, but losing the center one in exchange, and that bleed is just going to continue to happen almost constantly. T-70 coming in and around might be pushing some pressure onto this Pack 40. No, not quite. Indeed, we're going to see him get a damaged engine courtesy of that Faust. But I believe we're going to see a dead pack here. Yep, decrewed. And shockingly enough, no destruction of the anti-tank gun per se. And there we go. So there was one T-70 down. And the Pack 40 will get decrewed yet again. And this entire time, just more and more Faust being thrown at him, and he's just holding on like crazy. The question is now, can you take him out before that gets taken? Can you take out the Flamm half track? Is that possible? He's charging forwards. He's surging on in. One more is enough to finally kill him. VonIvan did a very good amount of damage, I would say, there. And frankly, if he wanted to, he could pick up this fuel and make a lot more T-70s if he wanted to go that particular route. And behind this, he has captured pretty much the entire map, leaving this low munitions point up here to the north to be held in absentia, more or less, by the Germans. But nope, it's an Su-76 coming on in. I guess the light arty barrages would be a better idea as opposed to the T-70, which is all direct fire, of course. And I'm wondering, are we going to see a tank, a mechanized armor company coming out soon? I think that'd be a good idea. I would hope he would think that'd be a good idea too, but we'll see. Dushka, in the meantime, back in base, not doing a whole lot with himself. With 48 fuel coming in per minute. That's an incredible amount. TM-35 mine coming down on this road. And no explosions there, per se. But let's talk about veterancy for a quick second here. So a lot of the Soviet stuff is falling back in disarray, but there is a lot of veterancy over there. One fully vetted up combat engineer squad. 3 squads of Penals all had themselves 2 stars of veterancy. T-7s were doing pretty well before they, gave their lives for the motherland. Even the Dutch's got a star for himself. Germans are doing pretty well for themselves as well, though, too. Grenadiers got 3 stars, though this squad might get taken out if he's not careful, and that's what he was waiting on. He was waiting just to get enough fuel to bring in some Shermans, so another 30 munitions or so. Now, danger close artillery barrage means there's going to be like next to 0 scatter. And indeed, he will be able to push back that MG in just a few seconds flat. First, Sherman is out on the field. Now, Stug for Theodosios, he's now been able to bring his support armor corps online. But I don't think a Stug is going to be able to mix it up effectively with the M4C Sherman, let alone the Su-76 and the M4C. And bring in the fact that that Flam half-track cannot really take on even the Dushka 38, and you have yourself quite a pickle here. Well, let's be fair, this guy does have 10 kills, so congratulations there. Pak-40 will do pretty darn well against the Su-76, putting rounds in like crazy to take out a lot of health on that very quickly. So while the Soviet infantry is lagging badly, we will see this M4C aggress rather smoothly, I would say. I would like to see maybe a satchel charge onto the pack or something, anything really, just to kind of push him back. Instead we have this giant melee happening. The Stug is trying to get line of sight onto that M4C, and he's failing to do so, courtesy of the Su-76. And the Su-76 is probably going to go down within one or two more rounds if it gets seen. He does not, though, and indeed we now have Penal troops advancing towards the rear as the Germans get pushed back as well. The threat of the M4C by itself, as well as the Flammenwerfer, or really more accurately the Rock 3 flamethrower, cannot be denied. Su-76 throwing artillery rounds downrange, finding and failing to see the Pak-40. Stug comes up though, takes one shot at the Su-76 and does some good fire. He does some really good damage, but pays for it with his life. And VonIvan is only a few seconds away, really bringing on in another M4C. Damaged engine on the M4C right now, the first one. And that's fine. I mean, he still has enough combat engineers so he can repair those boys like crazy. And he's got a triple cap as well, so Theodosios is probably not going to be able to recover from this position. He has no map presence. He has no real consistent AT. And I'm trying to think of where he went wrong with this, because he did play a good fight early on, but then he just fell off hard. Super hard. Another M4C coming on in. And I think the second that he sees another M4C, it might be better for him just to tap out. Grenadier shifting on forwards, though, doing some good work. Pushing back the Penal troops for the time being. Until, of course, the newest weapon in the Soviet arsenal rears its hideous head. And look at that. That's a turret only a mother could love. Pak's going to throw a couple of rounds into the M4C. And Theodosios says, you know what, guys, this is too much for me. And in under 20 minutes, VonIvan pushes super quickly in and just blows away Theodosios with a combination of play that I've not seen in quite a bit of time. Final score, 431 to 259. Winner by way of surrender is VonIvan. Well played there to you, sir. And Theodosios, well striven, but not quite able to be aggressive with that MG posturing that you had early on. I think that's what really lost the game for him. In any case, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Connorworks signing off. You all have a great day. Take it easy.